gentle giant. No, he really is.
I know.
He's a gentle giant.
I still kind of feel bad for my Florio.
Oh,
we give him a lot of shit, and it's so bad. The Knicks are down like 3-1. I was watching it yesterday. It is so bad.
And you know, Jamie does follow the New York sports, so I wonder if he is a Knicks fan because I don't think he's a Brooklyn Nets fan. I know he's a Yankees fan, and I know he's a Giants fan. But bring on Jamie Calandro with Roto Baller, please, because this guy here has not only working for Roto Baller right now. He's also been with Football Diehards. He's been with Fantasy Pros, ECR. He's been a champion in the DFS realm. I mean, this is Jamie Calandro right here. I'm going to let him talk and introduce himself. And after that, we might do some mocking. I don't know. We're gonna do some mocking. Jamie, what's going on?
So first of all, I'm going to bend my camera down here.
Oh, yeah. See, I knew.
Oh, that's embarrassing. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Does this offend you? Does this offend you?
I've already blocked my friend on text for 48 hours for sending the Reggie Miller choke picture too much. But yeah, I heard you talking about Florio. We were commiserating with Scott Engel. All of us Roto Baller Nick fans were going back and forth and commiserating with each other and sharing in each other's misery the other night.
Bro, and didn't wait, if I'm not mistaken, I know there's an Instagram of Florio going to the game. I saw him boarding the flight.
Oh, that I haven't seen.
I saw him, man. I was like, what is he? And then he had the boarding, gate and all that stuff behind him, and it was Indiana Pacers or Indianapolis, and I was like, oh my goodness, he's gonna go witness that, dude. First, let's talk about Halliburton, dude. Come on, man.
I don't want to talk about Halliburton, Tip. I can't stand the guy. I can't.
So, all jokes aside, I've never seen. Actually, I have seen refs. I feel maybe it's just because I'm an outsider on basketball, but I've never seen refs feel like they're so biased towards one team than I have for how much I feel like the refs hate the Knicks right now. And the only time I've seen it the opposite, or like another variation of it, has been when the Warriors played the Rockets and how physical they were with Steph Curry.
Yeah.
And I just feel like the Knicks couldn't get a foul to save their life. Meanwhile, all they had to do was just like be around the vicinity to foul the Pacers.
Yeah, I thought it was lousy in Game 4, and I'm not usually a ref excuse kind of guy and they did get outplayed, but that was tough to watch too. That there's 5 fouls called on the Knicks in a matter of 12 seconds there, and at least 3 off the top of my head were absolutely not 50-50 balls or whatever.
Wow. And I think that's kind of one of the the issues. People keep talking about all the specific reasons why NBA ratings are down, but I think the biggest one is just like ref interference, and the fact that it's just it. We joke in football how the 2-minute warning in the fourth quarter takes about like 20 minutes, but I feel like it's like that, but the whole game for basketball, and it ruins the flow. And a lot of the times, like I feel like let them play, but I don't know. It wasn't as fun to watch for me.
Yeah, there's a fine line, and it's they've been going kind of like too far above it, too far below it. I felt this entire series for a while.
Yeah, are they using different refs every game? Do you know?
I don't know. I know it was Scott Foster in Game 3, and he's the one that is always on our list for the investigate this guy when something's not going the team's way. But I don't know who was the crew in Game 4.
Well, one thing I will say is that this Game 6 will be electric in the Garden, man. It's gonna be.
They gotta win Game 5 first,
or five. My bad.
Yeah.
The next game. So 5. So I mean, it's gonna be insane, dude. Like crazy, the electricity and that building. You know what else is gonna be electric? Are you down to mock?
Let's do it.
Mock. We're
Fantasy
gonna mock
football.
We're gonna do a fantasy football draft. 12 people, like JB was saying. I mean, it's gonna be. We're gonna do a mock draft. We're gonna see who Jamie picks. We're gonna see who I pick first. We're gonna see who Nader picks. We're gonna talk about our picks. We may laugh at some of the picks. We may be like, damn, you took my pick, so you might be sniped. So we're going to do a quick 4-round. What do we decide, Nader, for?
Yeah, 4 rounds.
rounds.
Right now, you currently, I found out how to use technology a little bit, and I put right
Me
now
too.
on the board is the mock draft screen, so everybody could see it. Of course, if you're listening in and you want to see the visuals on it, it's going to be at 32-bit on YouTube and a little bit on Twitter here and there for the tidbits, but so you guys could follow along, so it's not just a listening thing. You can kind of visually see what is going on. So right now, it is a current 10-team league. Oh shoot! Maybe I should change it to snake draft. Right? Is startups like snake draft or is it linear? Is
It says snake. It's snake.
says snake.
It's a snake. I did it right.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
cool.
you
Wow,
did.
wow. I'm impressed. Like I'm just that good, guys. All right. So I decided to pick team number 9 for the hell of it. Tip picked third because apparently he's going to be third in another startup and he needs to practice. And Young. Jamie, he decided to pick 5 for his Scott Fishbowl number. Is that straightforward so far, guys?
It's pretty good. Let's go.
That's it. I especially like you calling me young. I think I'm older than both of you.
I can't tell. So if you are, congratulations.
Jamie does have that, and not only is Jamie a gentle giant, like I said, he also has that very just very comforting spirit, man. It's Jamie. Yeah, I felt that right away. I was like, man, I got comforting vibes, like cool cat. And then I find out he's a teacher. I'm like, oh yeah, okay, that makes sense.
What kind of teacher?
It.
Yeah,
music teacher.
Music. Okay.
Music teacher. Yep.
Fun fact, everybody. I used to play the clarinet.
Oh god.
And then
you are full of hot air. You probably
that too. And then I had to switch over to the saxophone. Even Jamie, that's really weird. You know what? I'm gonna rant on for a second. The fact that they made me play the clarinet first and get good at that to move on to the saxophone. Yet the saxophone is significantly easier than the clarinet. That makes no sense to me.
No, it's because you played the clarinet first. Sorry, I'm on team your teachers on this one.
But why the clarinet is significantly harder, but continually having to hold the holes for the notes because there's multiple different ones with like the holes in it. But the saxophone, you click a button, like kind of click a lever thingy, and then it covers the hole for you.
Listen, it's like I tell this to my students too. It's like when you go up for a practice swing, you got the donuts on the bat, and then you take them off, and it feels like you're swinging the bat at like 200 miles an hour. Same idea. You start hard, and then you can do the stuff.
There you go. And speaking of doing this stuff, let's do this draft. Let's get it going.
All right. So let's see. Let's hit start draft. We'll go into it. And team one's on the board.
You know who I'm taking here. Come on, guys. They should have been taking the number 1 pick. It's Bijan Robinson. Come on. This is
okay. You know what? How do I pause the draft real fast? That went the first handful of picks went way too fast, and I can't even process it yet. So right now, Jamie's up on the board just because everything went so freaking fast. So right now, team 1 took Saquon Barkley. And the problem is with this mock draft style type of stuff for the computer is that I can't tell it that it's a startup dynasty. So realistically, I don't think Saquon Barkley would be 101 on a startup dynasty.
No,
thing.
He would not. It would be Bijan Robinson.
Exactly, which is kind of why I want to be mean to you, and then Manny will select Bijan Robinson for 101.
Go ahead, Matter.
Jamie, help me out here. What do you think?
How to do it? Reverse?
No. Should I do that? Is that fair? Is that right?
Well, yeah. I mean, Barkley's not the first overall pick, and I Chase would be mine, but definitely as far as running backs go, Bijan over Barkley in a dynasty startup for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I was gonna do Chase. I was gonna do Jamar Chase for him, and then you know what we're gonna do?
This guy here.
Hold on. The problem is I gotta remember how to spell their names.
Bro, you are not the fantasy god. What are you? Look.
Wrong Robinson. Robinson. Sorry,
look,
wrong
dude.
Robinson. Okay, this is bad right now.
Team 2 went off the grid fast here.
Yeah. How do I see that? As
okay, there you go. Now you should be able to do it.
Okay, now let me try it again. We're trying again. It's funny. I'm getting the updates on my phone, and right now I'm getting warnings for potential.
So damn, you took my guy. So
collusion.
My phone just blew up.
Okay, so all right. So 101 is Jamar Chase. That's how I personally would have done. Jamie's on my side, so we agree. Tip is a Raiders fan, so he doesn't matter. Team 2 took Bijan Robinson, and all right, you're back on the board for pick number 3.
Yeah, I'm
Talk to
on
us
the
about it.
board. Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and do Justin Jefferson. I would like CD Lamb here, but I think with George Pickens coming on the block, and then you got Jake Ferguson as well. I just feel like, and then Jaden Blue. I just feel like he's gonna take a hit in targets. It's not gonna be a significant hit, but he's gonna take a hit, and I think that we're all gonna see that. The one person that's not gonna take a hit is Justin Jefferson. He's quarterback proof. He's the best thing you can get other than Jamar Chase and Bijan Robinson. I think he's probably the most legit and best thing you can get right now. In a dynasty.
Okay, so let's see. I mean, I don't disagree with you, but I wanted to pose the question of the rookies that are incoming now. Like, for example, Genti.
Yeah, I mean, you could definitely do the Genti. I personally wouldn't do it that close at my third pick. I want a guy that I can rely on who's already in the system, been in the system for a minute, as opposed to having somebody as a rookie coming into a brand new system. Not only a brand new system, you got to learn the NFL too. Like, the NFL is grueling. This is not, and I know he's going to do great. I have no qualms with it. I just wouldn't want to do that there. Now, if it's where Jamie is, possibly, I would do it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. So now we're on pick number 4, and Saquon still keeps coming up. I feel like he's going to be coming up for a while until he gets taken.
Might as well let them pick him.
Yeah, at this point, I think I'm going to let that happen. So just because I'm already tired of seeing his face, you're on the clock, Sir Jamie.
Yeah. So there's a couple of receivers here, and I have Genti. You mentioned him. I figure he's going to go somewhere in this. I do have him as my RB3 in these dynasty things. Bijan 1 and Gibbs 2. So, but I don't argue with him going this spot either. But I'm going to pick between one of the two receivers, and it's either Lamb or Neighbors. So I do have Neighbors slightly ahead. Yeah. They're picking. It's a bit of a homer pick, I guess, if you want to say that. But I mean, almost a 35% target share, led the NFL with absolute garbage at quarterback the entire season. And, I could say that firsthand watching every game. And in theory, it should get better from here at the quarterback position for them. And they didn't really go out and add anybody. So I think it's another, high floor for this year and high ceiling for the long term.
And you know what? I was going to not mention Malik Neighbors' name specifically because I wanted to take him at that spot. So I'm a little disappointed, and now I don't know who to pick. Shoot, I got to think about this.
Well, Jamie, one thing real quick. We had a little inside joke there because Natter is obviously Natter and Neighbors is Neighbors. So we used to what did we call you last season?
Yeah, I was Malik Nader.
Nader.
Yeah. I was his biggest supporter.
Yeah, he was, man. And he slowly turned me into one.
We have very little to cheer about in Giant Land, but he is one of them.
Yeah,
Giant Land. Yeah, but you have other sports. So right. While thinking of a player and trying to distract everybody,
42 seconds, right? You better.
Yeah, I know exactly. So, are you a Mets or actually you're wearing a Yankees hat?
Yeah, Yankees, Giants, Knicks.
Yeah. Okay, that was a silly question. Why?
I mean, that's how I was brought up. Really, when you instill it from toddlerhood on, and my dad has it on all the time, and I just start to watch it, and the frenzy that he would always get into rubbed off, and it's coming onto my sons too, which I'm happy about.
Nice.
Wow.
Malik Naders, you got 10 seconds.
I know. Right now, I'm on Raw or Brian Thomas.
You pick somebody. I don't know. Do it.
I'm gonna go Brian Thomas.
That's a good pick.
Yeah,
not bad.
And I was back to me again because I was struggling between running backs if I wanted to take another running back, but I felt like there wasn't a good one for me to take. And
wow,
yeah, that was me dogging on Ashton Chetty. I just wanted you to know that was specifically me to do that on it. Yeah,
wow,
mostly because he's on the Raiders.
Yeah, you better pick this kid up.
I will, unfortunately. I wanted to joke and say I'm taking A-Chain.
No. Although, I heard some stories about A-Chain possibly going to become a receiver or have some packages for him in the slot.
Yeah,
which
how many
I
times have
think
I
would
heard
be
that?
dangerous. Seriously,
Yeah, I
because
don't know.
him in space. Oh wow.
The amount of times we heard like a player taking, like a running back taking receiver reps,
I
working
mean,
with the wide receivers in
look,
OTA.
Le'Veon Bell did it. I mean, Saquon's done it a couple of times. I've seen him do it. But
Yeah, and so did like Brian Robinson, or was it
Oh.
what's his name? The
Hill.
other irrelevant running back that was on the Commanders, Gibson.
Oh,
That's his
Gibson,
name. Yeah,
yes.
Gibson,
yeah.
the
Remember when he was
receiver.
supposed to be my cat?
Yeah.
We're not even talking about him.
Hey, look, Jamie goes out there and
I'm
gets
taking him, yeah.
Devon A-Chain. I think that's a
Mhm.
good pickup, man.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
happy
I mean,
with
to
it.
have Malik Naders and Devon A-Chain, that's pretty sweet, man.
Yeah, it's a
all right.
1-2 punch. You can't complain with that one. That's a solid
Oh,
one.
yeah.
Right now, Tip is on the board. Jefferson
I
was his first
am.
pick, number 2. So tell me about your thought process right here while we're deciding on the pick, because like, is a running back a must?
It is, but I don't really like any of these names. I mean, Christian McCaffrey is there. I get it. But man, you might have another year with him. I found out today that he's about to have a baby. They have a baby on the way. So he might play 1 year and want to be a dad. So, I mean, I don't know if I want to mortgage the future on a guy like that.
Can't imagine
Josh
why you'd wanna do
Jacobs.
that.
Josh Jacobs, makes me nervous too because he had a killer year last year, but you also got 3 other guys that breathing down your neck, and I don't know. The Jonathan Taylor, he's like one of those guys. He's got so much potential. He's so fast, so strong. But I'm gonna go Lab McConkey here, guys. I think I'm gonna do it. I like Lab McConkey, and look, Christian McCaffrey almost made it back to me. Here, I would actually think about Justin Jefferson. Jonathan Taylor, because I don't have that running back. So let me look at these wide receivers and see if I like any. And I'm looking at one right now that I do like, and I like Garrett Wilson and I like Terry McLaurin.
I was nice enough to pause it for you.
Yeah.
By the way,
I see.
A lot happened in like a short time frame.
Let it go. I got this.
No,
This is practice.
because while we're talking about your pick and you're thinking about it, we have a handful of other picks that happened. So I was gonna mention Brock Bowers because he went right after me at Genty and Brock, pick 2-3, and I was gonna say like, okay, like I know this mock draft you can't really set it for like startup style, but how early would you guys want him?
I think that's a perfect spot. Jamie, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm looking at everybody in the first round, and I think I'm good with all 10 of those guys ahead of him. And if I'm that team 10 and he's there at 2-1, I think I'm comfortable with him there. So I would say that's probably the earliest for me.
And then now we got some people like Drake London. I don't know how I feel about Drake London. I just feel like pause, but I feel like I just feel like he's set up for disappointment. I don't know.
No. The only thing that could disappoint would if he had an injury riddled season. I think him and Michael Penix, I think that's going to be one of the next big 1-2 punches in the NFL. Just look at what he did his very last game of the season. I think that dude was targeted like something like 18 times. He had 10 catches, which I mean, yeah, you want to clean up that ratio a little bit, but he had 2 touchdowns and 187 yards. I think that is something that we could see happen a couple of times, or maybe 3 to 4 times this year, where they just have a blow up game and Drake London be on the end of that. Which I think Drake London is an easy bet for multiple touchdowns too, or 10, double-digit touchdowns.
Yeah, I'm into it. I would have taken him if they were both there. I would have taken him over Achane there and seen what came back to me at running back in this round.
Yep.
So another thing that maybe we should have talked about before we started, but because it is a startup draft and a dynasty draft, how are you guys looking at age compared to drafting a solid team initially? Because like obviously, you don't want to start tanking right off the bat, right? Like you want to actually try to draft a competitive team to win, and especially if it's a money league, you don't want to put in like a $50 to $100 buy-in just to lose off the rip, but you drafted a bunch of young guys hoping that they pan out. Jamie, what do you think about something
and that's honestly that's the fun part of dynasty startups. When you get into these things, you try and find that really fine line. That's why I like Neighbors so much, because I think Neighbors is that perfect that perfect storm of he wins it for you now, but you're also building your team around him.
Right. Yeah.
You know, and someone like McCaffrey is a little trickier here. You know, I honestly, I don't like him at all in this early stages of the thing. Like you had said before, you know, I mean, he might, this might be it. I mean, he might play this year. He's had injury issues his entire career. What is he? He's 28. That's in running back years, that's 38. So, you know, I'm that kind of player. Like, yeah, I love him, and he could be the RB1 overall this year. But I don't know. I'm in the dynasty setting. I'm a little more comfortable taking maybe a little more risk at the running back than, or a little more risk at like a young guy than him or something like that.
So how early? I know we're not going to be reaching that far in the mock draft to be able to look at younger second on the depth chart RBs, but where would you potentially start looking at them?
So I'm pulling up, as you were saying that, I was pulling up I have a dynasty rankings sheet on site right now, and I'm pulling it up. I have him RB, looks like 12 in dynasty. So I don't know how many's gone off. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So yeah, no, it's not terrible here. You know, he's the 9th running back off the board. I have him 12th if I was following my own rankings here. But like I have James Cook ahead of him, who hasn't gone yet. Kyren Williams, who hasn't gone yet. I think they're both a little bit, maybe not quite the ceiling as him, but a little bit safer with the fact that they're a couple of years younger. You know, Kyren Williams is 24, James Cook's 25. So I think that's enough age baked in that you can kind of make a decision based on that there.
Well, it makes perfect sense. So what about quarterbacks? I know this is a one-person quarterback league. I know we're interrupting Tip and his spot.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, Tiff's really analyzing this pick as we go
right. You're just putting more pressure on me.
That's the fun part. Well, you think that was an accident? It was calculated. All right, so okay, fine. I'll be nice.
All right, go ahead. Let me go. I already know who I'm winning.
Okay, all right. So we're resuming the draft. Jonathan Taylor was his pick with Jackson Smith and Jigba as the pick right after that. Which honestly, I think that's a really good pick. I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like that was. I want to say he dropped like the perfect spot. I feel like he'd probably go maybe a little bit earlier.
Yeah, but as the number one on that team, though, you just got to be wary a little bit of Jackson Smith and Jigba because, I mean, you got Cooper Kupp there. I think Cooper Kupp will have a resurgence this year. I think, you know, he's had this last season last couple seasons took a toll on him. I think more mentally, and then to get dropped like that, I think he's going to come in highly motivated this year. You know, the Seahawks paid him, so they believe that he still got it. So I think that he's going to be a piece in this offense. And if not one thing, I'll tell you another thing that Cooper Kupp's going to help is that running game because he's a hell of a blocker too. So, and they'll help each other. So I think it's going to be, I think Cooper Kupp's going to make a little bit of noise, a little bit.
I was a big Kenneth Walker fan coming into this year, and that signing for those exact reasons ramped him up even more for me.
Yeah, I pray that Kenneth Walker stays healthy. If he stays healthy, oof.
I'm giving him a top 5 RB season this year. Yeah. We've had a couple of episodes where we kept showering him with praise to the point where I'm like, yo, let's kind of ease on talking about him because I want to be able to take him at proper ADPs, not the elevated one that he's going to be once redraft season starts. But right now, Mr. Jamie's on the board. Nader's A-Chain, and he's up right now. How you feeling?
Yeah. And you had mentioned you were just about to start talking about quarterbacks, and I think this is putting me to a big time decision here because Lamar Jackson is here, and he's someone that I could take and lock in for the next 8-9 years. Oh, I'm running out of time here, but I'm actually not. I'm going. Tip was talking about him before, and you know Garrett Wilson is still so young and. Again, it's kind of like neighbors with the quarterback position was what it was. And the Devontae Adams coming along for the ride there in New York, that really kind of slowed him. But I still view him as an elite receiver in this league. I have him. I was very disappointed. Team 4 sniped me. I would have taken Smith and Jigba over him. But I have him one spot apart. So I'm happy.
Are you worried about quarterback? Like, I mean, we have a joke on the show where we absolutely trash on Justin.
No, that's you. That
actually, I just trash on him. I think he's terrible. I think like terrible is being polite. I think he's just horrendous. I would hate for him to be my quarterback, and I feel like you're waiting like another year, another 2 years for them to actually get a person that's going to throw the football for you to actually put him comfortably in your starting position.
Yeah, it's fair. He's one of the guys, I don't think it's any different though from worrying. I mean, I guess it is different, but I mean, Justin Jefferson, who went 3rd overall, who I would have been fine with going 2nd or even 1st overall, is dealing with an unknown at quarterback. That's of course not the same thing as really claiming that the quarterback is not an unknown, but is flat out bad, which Justin Fields has not really shown. He's a great runner for fantasy, but he's not shown anything to date as someone who can pass and elevate his wide receivers. So I'm more betting on talent here than situation for sure.
All right, so let's resume the draft. Trey McBride and Lamar Jackson went off the board with Tyreek Hill following that. I'm a little disappointed Lamar Jackson left the board. I kind of wanted him. Trey McBride is somebody I didn't even think about, but honestly, that's not a bad pick with him signing a contract extension. Jamie, how do you feel about those?
I have regret already that I didn't take Lamar Jackson over Garrett Wilson. I
thought you were going to do. You were selling it really nicely, but I'm not. But look, Jamie, I'm not going to lie. To have Malik Neighbors and Garrett Wilson on that team, that is lethal as far as wide receivers.
That's a dirty matchup right there. That's a dirty lineup.
It can be really, really nasty.
So, go ahead, Dan.
No, I'm good with my receiver floor there and ceiling. I also didn't pay attention to the fact that we have 2 receivers. I might, if it was 3 wide receiver, I'd feel better. I didn't, 2 wide receivers a tiny bit different, but the 2 flex in the settings does really kind of open that up as well. Right. But I love Garrett Wilson, but I still think I should have taken Jackson.
Well, because it's only a 4-round mock, I felt like I didn't need to put a 3rd receiver in and take out a flag or something. I feel like we're not going to get that far for it to matter anyway.
Yeah.
So I'm right now on the screen. I have Kyren Williams' face shown, and he's somebody that I really want. I'm kind of scared to take him. I feel like he's so replaceable, and I know maybe that sounds kind of mean to say, but I feel like he's playing to he's playing for a spot in a way. It's like it's his position to lose. Does that make sense?
Yeah. He kind of went through this last year too. He's that guy that like everybody thinks that they're gonna replace him and then they don't. So it's definitely a fair argument. But I'm good with him. If you were to take him there, I wouldn't say it was a bad pick.
Yeah, so right now I think James Cook has the most appeal to me in the running back position.
Oh, did you time out?
Yeah, no. I just paused up.
One thing, if I could say about the Rams' backfield too, I think that the Jaquez Hunter draft this year, when they drafted him, I think that's more on Blake Corum than I think it is on Kyren Williams. I think what I mean by that, I think that's more to push Blake Corum. It could be to push all 3 of them. Because all the coaches want competition, right? They want competition. That is what breeds success in this league. And it could be for all 3 of them, but I think it's more for pushing Blake Corum because they spent some capital on him last year, and he was injured, didn't really show much, never really got on the field for whatever reason. I don't know if he wasn't showing in practice, but Kyren Williams, again, we were talking about it. He was that guy that they were looking to, possibly replace him. Blake Corum, oh my God. And then he just does what he does again. And the only thing that motivates Kyren Williams is to stay healthy the whole season, which he practically did. And so it's kind of tricky on this one, man, with the Rams, with their backfield.
Yeah, and while you guys said that, I just recently switched my tabs from running back to all, and then I saw Jayden Daniels, and now I'm sold on Jayden Daniels. So I want Jayden Daniels on my team. And then actually on the turnaround, I'm actually going to be looking at Marvin Harrison Jr.
Okay.
Since I think he's going to be there.
I hope you get sniped.
Well, you know what? Luckily, the game won't do that to me. They're not going to do that to me.
Oh, what the?
There we
You-
go. So, I mean,
Kind of computer.
I
What do you
think
have it? You have it on rookie? You go ahead and put it on all
rookie
pro.
mode. Yeah. Get wrecked. So, right now, Marvin Harrison is the Walmart version of Malik Naders, where he's like a fine line of young and talent. And the fact that I'm going to get him in the 4th round, I feel like is a good spot where I feel like, okay, I can put him in my starting lineup, get fantasy points production, be competitive, but still also look towards the future. Yes, I do want Mike Evans. I do want Chase Brown. I do want Kyron. T. Higgins, I don't really want him that much. I don't know why. Drafting a number 2 receiver that high doesn't give me comfort. So I'm going to actually take Marvin Harrison. James Cook also, I highly considered him, but I feel like since it is full PPR, I kind of want the wide receivers early. So that's what I'm going to do right there. And no coincidence, all 3 of those players that I mentioned got taken right after that because Chris Brown, James Cook, T. Higgins. Yeah, I called him Chris Brown, by the way, guys.
That was nice.
Yeah, thanks. T. Higgins, and now Jamie's on the board. How you feeling?
You double sniped my queue from 4 spots away there with those 2 players. I had my talk ready for each one of them. I was hoping my lack of, decision on Jackson would be rectified and Daniels would come back to me. That would have been the ideal situation. Harrison definitely would have been next. So that left me to kind of look down my queue a little bit, and I'm just making sure I'm not missing anybody stupid, but you really did all the analysis for me. I'm almost positive that Kyron Williams is this pick here.
Yeah, great minds think alike. Great minds think alike right there.
The other thing I could possibly do is get incredibly cute and go with someone like Travis Hunter, who is, they're talking him up as the receiver here, or Rashee Rice, and hope that I don't get hurt too much by that suspension this year. But again, it's a dynasty and it's not a long-term problem. It's just kind of
getting suspended
back a little bit. I don't think so either. I've had a couple of drafts here and I've taken him. What are we in, round 4? I think if it not here, but if he was there in the 5th round, that's when I start doing it. But I like Kyron Williams here, so we're gonna take him.
I think that's a really solid pick in itself. Right. DJ Moore got taken after that,
and I'm going Kenneth Walker because
that one hurt.
Yeah, I mean it makes sense right there. We just talked a little bit about him, and I'm gonna wrap it up with this so we can go to the next segment. Look, now with me getting Kenneth Walker and me having Jonathan Taylor there, I mean, my running backs could potentially be very good, or they could potentially be very bad, especially with injuries looming because they both have been injured in the past. So what I'm going to do very aggressively, and what I recommend you guys do, is if you get Kenneth Walker, you're going to have to be aggressive, and you're going to have to get Zach Charbonnet in maybe the next 2 to 3 rounds. Like, you just got to do it. You're going to have to bite the bullet, guys, because I'll tell you what, if Kenneth Walker does get injured, which he's been injured almost every season that he's played, or he has been injured every season that he's played, you do have a direct replacement in that, who's been in this offense, who is going to be with Clint Kubiak now, who I think is going to utilize the running backs very, very nicely. And I think we could see a different Zach Charbonnet. I think we see a better offensive line. They got Rick Dennison over there as well. I really think the run game is going to be good, whoever it is. I mean, it'll be a combination of both because they want to keep them both healthy. But if Walker starts to run away with it, you do have that handcuff just in case he gets hurt.
Yeah, and right now, as you're speaking, I was kind of cycling through a handful of picks that I'd probably go next. Like, for example, Omarion Hampton. I'd probably wouldn't go Joe Burrow or any of these quarterbacks. I feel like none of them have the running potential to be able to take that early. Maybe Bo Nix, honestly, but probably not still. Yeah, Omarion Hampton. I'd be debatable on Chuba Hubbard. I kind of want him, but I kind of don't.
It's weird.
Yeah, he's like a weird. He's like, like 3, maybe I wouldn't say like 4 years ago, 5 years ago, David Montgomery on the Bears, where it's like you didn't really want to take him. There just was nobody else left that was good enough for you to justify. So yeah, he was kind of last, and that's kind of where he is right now. I was kind of looking like who else would I want like in the 5th round. I feel like this is a really awkward zone. I feel like once you hit the 4th round, you should stop looking at kind of youth a little bit. Actually have like a little sandwich in the middle where you're kind of looking at player talent. Zay Flowers also, he just popped in my head. There we go. Yeah, Zay Flowers is probably where I would go with this next pick. He's also a nice youth while having fantasy point potential. Jalen Waddle, how do we feel about that?
No, not here. I mean, maybe in the next two, if he's still falling a little bit there, but there are still some receivers, especially on the board, that I would definitely take over Waddle at this point.
I like Sutton still over him. I might even be willing to give a shot to Chris Olave because there's no more Derek Carr. I mean, he's going to be able to build with whoever the new quarterback's going to be, and you got Kellen Moore too. So Kellen Moore is going to scheme up for him, and I think we see a different Chris Olave this year. Him and Derek Carr, man, they were just non-existent as far as chemistry goes. I mean, I always talk about this, and I'll say it one more time. There was that one game where he had no points, 0, and it was like going into the fourth quarter, and Derek Carr got hurt, and then Jameis Winston comes in, and all of a sudden, Chris Olave's got like 60 yards and like 3 back. Like I'm like wow, I remember that so vividly because it happened on my team. Like Chris Olave and Derek Carr did not get along, whatever you want to say. They did not have any chemistry. So I think that he's going to work hard with this next kid, and hopefully Kellen Moore instills into him, because I have heard Olave has had some issues with maturity too. So hopefully Kellen Moore instills into him that he can be the next best thing, because that's what he was bred to do, going to Ohio State and then now going into the NFL.
Well, funny enough, he got a concussion after you drafted him. So
yeah, and I forgot about you got to also consider that. Yeah, the concussion thing is serious. He's got to think about his health. So that's true too. But you know what? We're not going to talk about him anymore, Chris Olave. We're going to actually talk about him. And I want to hear from both of you guys. A player that you have like specifically talked about that you don't hear anybody else, or maybe very few people talking about right now in fantasy. I mean, we're starting to ramp up with all of this. So I want to hear from you guys. Who is a player that you haven't been hearing about in your circles and maybe in outer circles? We'll start with you, Jamie.
So it's a guy that I am probably going to get heat for touting. And he's not really a sleeper per se, because he's a well-known guy that's been in the league. And I'm searching Fantasy Pros right now so I can actually find his rank on there. So he's listed on Fantasy Pros in redraft. Are we talking redraft? We're talking just
redraft. Yeah, redraft.
Yeah. So he's RB 25 right now in PPR on Fantasy Pros, and I am higher than the field on DeAndre Swift this year.
Okay.
I have not been a DeAndre Swift truther for his career.
Yeah.
But at the price tag he has, and I know he's not the age he was anymore, but the price tag he has, where if he's RB 25, you're talking about him as an RB 3/flex. If I get him as that, I'm going to be tickled pink, because he's got the coaching staff there now that he thrived in. So when Ben Johnson was with him in Detroit, he had 5.5 yards per carry, which was his most efficient season. This was in 2021. He had 62 catches out of the backfield. I figure with the way that the Bears have beefed up their offensive line and really kind of, putting that onus on Caleb Williams taking that next step as the quarterback, I think this is the year where DeAndre Swift, they didn't really do that much to give him competition in the Bears backfield per se. I just got a thing that popped up that said Malik Neighbors suffers setback. What am I reading right now?
Oh, no.
Oh, God.
That just blew my mind here. But yeah, with this new coaching staff, his outside run rate dipped, and that is what Ben Johnson likes to run. I mean, we saw it with Jahmyr Gibbs when he put him in space, what he could do. No, I do not think Swift is going to have a Gibbs-like season. I think he's nearing the latter part of his career for that, but I think RB3, a high-end RB3 is too low for him this year.
Oh, yeah. Wait, he's an RB3?
Well, if we're talking like, he's RB 25 on on Fantasy Pros, which is, just outside the top 24. So he's not considered a starter. He's a flex, which is where I would love to get him.
And you know what, Jamie? I was about to get on here and just rebut. But the way that you said it and the way that you explained it, it makes sense now. Because if you can actually get him as a third or a flex, I mean, you would be tickled pink. You're right. Because I was more thinking, I guess in my head, I was more thinking people were, because of the Ben Johnson thing, we're going to be like, ooh, I'm going to be aggressive on him. And when you told me that ranking, I was like, oh, okay, that's not too bad. Like, I can actually deal with that. And because now you're dealing with a guy who has a bunch of potential, who's back again with Ben Johnson. And you talked about the offensive line, Caleb Williams, the wide receivers, the tight ends. I mean, this offense is going to be, it should be humping on all cylinders once they get it, or pumping on all cylinders once they once they get it really going.
It's just a pumping on all cylinders, huh? Humping on all cylinders. What's on your mind, buddy?
Pumping. Well, look, it is Wednesday night, Oh
my God. All righty. Well, I can't argue with Swift. I feel like whenever you can kind of get a potential starting RB in the later parts of the draft, I feel like it's always going to be a good value pick. You can't go wrong with it because, I mean, what's the worst thing that could happen is he sits on your bench for a while until another starter gets hurt, and then you just flex him right in there. So I think for mine, I'm going to pick Jauan Jennings. I don't know. That might be too easy of a pick. That might be too easy, but I'm going to give it to myself.
You're going to have to talk about your 49ers.
I don't even like talking about them. I don't even like them. So, I mean, right now he's going with the Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuels, Jacoby Myers, Jordan Reed, Shakir, Odunze. He's going in that section of the ADP rankings. And in my mind, I don't really see it just because his teammate that is right next to him on the rankings is hurt for probably half the year. I mean, he's going to be taking probably wide receiver 1 to wide receiver 2 reps, depending on where Pearsall is in the depth chart and how they utilize him. But I think Pearsall is more of a slot receiver, kind of a shiftier guy. He's always been on the outside. That's his spot. And you know what? Shanahan really loves him just because of his blocking ability. He is on the field more than the starting receivers. And if you're on the field, you have fantasy point potential. And I would rather take him, Jauan Jennings, over Odunze, who is right now he's like wide receiver 3 on the depth chart, wide receiver 2 potentially. Deebo Samuel, you don't really know how he's going to be on that team. Jacoby Myers, he's just Jacoby Myers. Like who wants him on the team? Jordan Reed, congratulations. Stephon Diggs on the Patriots. Like I don't even know what that is. Like they don't even have receivers on that team.
Pink powder video today too.
Yeah. I mean, he looked cool in that video, I think.
He's dating Cardi B. When did that happen?
I don't even know
that. That was before the New England Patriots signing. He's been with her. Look, it was so funny. They showed a picture of them together, and he was just walking behind her like a puppy dog. Man, it was so funny. I was like, this dude ain't gonna do nothing on the field this year. Please don't draft him. Like, and now you see the whole boat incident in Miami. Yeah, I'm out.
So the team, the Patriots, said that they're looking into it, but in my mind, I didn't really watch.
I mean, he didn't do anything. He didn't do anything bad, but
what did he do for him to he didn't even show up to OTAs. They told him to stay home.
Right. My thing is, where's your head at? Like he did nothing wrong. He was on a boat in Miami with women and on the sea and probably a big party. Like, I mean, he didn't do anything wrong. He wasn't doing anything crazy at all. Like nothing wrong. But I think where's your mind?
I think what the people were, they're trying to identify because he showed the thing. He's got like a bag of pink powder. So, everybody brought up this. I forget the name of the drug, but it's like a dyed pink cocaine.
Oh, see, I never see that part. Oh, wow.
Okay, yeah, so everyone's kind of like, saying, but you can't really even see it. But, that's Twitter. That's the Twitter, the Twitter lawyers and the Twitter doctors. But that's why it's becoming such a big deal there.
They're using their iPhone 16s to zoom in that close. Come on, man. Yeah. Like, come on, dude. It's probably crushed up Pepto-Bismol. Come on.
Is he sure?
He probably had a stomach ache. He probably had a stomach ache. He's in the sea. Have you ever been on a boat and like it's wobbly, dude? Like,
yeah.
Come on.
Poor guy's seasick.
Come on, man. Oh, these guys here. All right, let me go ahead and tell you my guy is Chigoziem Okonkwo. And look, we're talking on fantasy, we're talking about Fantasy Pros right now. He is right now, his ECR is 229, average ADP 190. This is a guy who in the last 3 games of the season, or last 3 games that he played, he averaged over 18 points. He had 9 targets. That's the big thing for me when it comes to tight ends, is how many targets are you truly getting? He had 9 targets in those games that he played. And not only that, you got Cam Ward. Now, Cam Ward will throw to the tight end. Just look at Arroyo and look at what the tight end or what the quarterback needs. He needs a security blanket. I think Chigoziem Okonkwo is good. I think that not only that, I think he'll finish as a middle to a low to middle first or tight end 1. So I really like Chigoziem Okonkwo. I think that you can get him very, very cheap right now because, the other people are also talking about the other tight end that they drafted. I get it. But Chigoziem Okonkwo's been there. Again, I'm going to say this. A lot of these coaches are breeding competition. That is what is going to win you or get you to the next level. The Raiders are doing it. The Chicago Bears are doing it. Now I feel like the Titans will do it. I don't think that they're going to be one of these, top teams in the NFC South, but I think they're breeding competition. They're saying, Will Levis, you are now competing with Cam Ward. Cam Ward, you are now competing with Will Levis. That is sending a message to the team. If they're letting the quarterbacks compete, that means everybody's job is on the line. So that right there, I think that Chigoziem Okonkwo has a big, big year.
I mean, besides having probably one of the coolest names in the league, I mean, that already is enough to sell me on drafting him. But there's just not that many pass catchers on the Titans for me to sit there and be like, oh, he's going to lose reps to, or, oh, these wide receivers are so elite. I can't even tell you their wide receivers off the top of my head other than Calvin Ridley. And even then it's who the hell cares?
Yeah.
Oh, man. All right. So we're going to do our last segment. Jamie, it's been such a pleasure, man. So we're going to give this question to you. Last year, the NFL passing yards leader was Joe Burrow. Who's going to be this year's NFL passing leader and why?
Well, I mean, the boring answer is him again, considering he had about 80 more attempts than the next highest guy. Plus, they re-signed both receivers. Their defense does not profile to be any better this year. And, if they wind up trading Trey Hendrickson, it could be worse. I don't know what's going to happen with that guy. So, I mean, if I had to pick anyone right now, I'd say he does it again. If you want me to go off the grid and pick somebody else, I'm a big Baker Mayfield fan this year.
Okay.
I think they've done a lot to add to an already pretty prolific offense where Chris Godwin came back and is healthy, drafted Aguka. Jalen McMillan took a step forward. Mike Evans is still Mike Evans. He was 3rd in passing yards a year ago. I think he had more 20-yard passes, 20-yard plus than anybody not named Jared Goff, and believe it or not, Sam Darnold, who was first in that category. If I'm doing a non-Burrow guy, I like, I'll actually check the betting odds to see what I can get for Mayfield.
Yeah, I think they're good because I was looking at Dak Prescott's plus 900, but there's another one. There's another one. Yeah, that one's a good one, and I think Baker Mayfield was up there too. I think he was a good one. But yeah, no, I love that call, man. Like, and then you got Rachaad White coming out of the backfield, Bucky Irving coming out of the back. He loves to dump off passes to the running back. So. Yeah, I like that call a lot. I like that a lot. That's a good one. That's a good one.
While we're getting the betting odds on that one, let me look at the quarterback for the Raiders.
Stop.
Look, Smith. Oh, wait.
Your quarterback. Where about yours?
He's not winning it. Oh, wait.
He ain't going to win it either.
He was fourth last year. Not with them, but he was 4th.
Yeah, leave Geno Smith alone. He'll be fine.
Doesn't matter. It's like going to the Raiders is just like a death sentence. It's terrible. It's like, oh my God, all right, you're done. Your career's over.
God.
What is it? What do they call the Raiders? The team you go to retire to? What is it? What do they say about that? I forgot.
No, they do not call that. They do not call us that.
Really? What do they call it?
If the Raiders are good, it's good for the NFL. That is all I should say. That's all they say.
I don't know. NFL ratings were at an all-time high last year. You never heard a peep about the Raiders. Like, that's all I'm saying.
That's going to change this year, Datter. But wait, before we go, Jamie, please talk about some of the great projects that you have going on at Rotoballer.
Yeah, and I appreciate being on with you guys. It's been a lot of fun. I've been looking forward to it all day. I appreciate you guys having me on. So as far as my stuff at Rotoballer, I am producing daily NBA content until the last game of the NBA Finals happens. After that, it'll be one weekly DFS MLB article a week, a couple of scattered off-season NFL stuff, and then once the NFL season gets going, it's full business ahead with two DFS and two NFL cash. My God, I'm losing it here at the end. Two NFL articles, one cash, one GPP, and regular spots on SiriusXM with Bob and Mike, who still are gracious enough to have me on, even though Football Diehards is folded.
Man, it's so cool to hear you guys on there. Yeah, man, this is gonna be fun. This is
my list is like this long.
It's a good list.
That's I mean, in like certain aspects, like this is pretty big. Like this is like really big in like certain like this is you're packing, but like that.
Oh God,
that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Like anything more than that, you're just showing off.
Man, oh my God, man, Datter, take us home, bro.
Well, that's going to be level 15 of the Level Up Fantasy Football Podcast. I am ya boy Natter. Of course, remember, if you are listening to this on any platform and you want to see the visuals of us doing the mock draft, you want to be on 32-bit on YouTube, just so you can visually see everything. Just because, when you're listening to everything, like you're hearing a lot of names and a lot of information at very fast speed. I know for myself personally, it is hard to like visually, or I should say not even visually, mentally imagine all the names in the mock draft board and all that good stuff. So you're going to want to hit it onto the YouTube channel at 32-bit so you can visually see everything, so you can properly process everything, because I mean, having a cheat sheet makes everything so much easier. But other than that, good luck, everybody.